Okay, this is the Fresh Aggressors. This is Kevin Hayes with Michaela Spencer, Tim Rowe, and Sylvia Villarreal, and we are about to discuss what we learned from our gaming strategies and management course. Question number one: what did you learn from weeks one, two, three, and four, Tim?
Well, one of the things I took away from the games in thinking about training is that people need to have early success in the game in order to be motivated to go forward. If it's too frustrating or directions aren't clear in the beginning, then they might easily want to just quit and give up on it.
Okay, Michaela.
Well, from weeks 1 to 4, I learned that gaming can be fun and educational at the same time. In the workplace and in the school, it can serve as a stress reliever, and it can serve as a tool to teach work skills or on the job skills.
And how about you, Sylvia?
I want to go to the storyline and the role playing. I thought that was really interesting and essential for every kind of game that we were playing, and that it was made me feel competitive against each other with my team members, and that was pretty exciting for me. The competition, and it was engaging. So I'm expecting that this would be the same for our students. And then the good storyline is can liven up competition. And also, I wanted to mention the flexibility of it, the different ways to accomplish the goals.
Those are all great points, and I just wanted to add that from weeks one through four, starting off with Dungeons and Dragons, where I was introduced to something that's brand new to me, going through RuneScape, going through Quest Atlantis, going through Spore, and even World of Warcraft. Everything that we were learning had to do with teamwork, and teamwork is something that it is important, and it is something that all of our youth and our learning environments dealing with training as well can benefit from. Okay, what do you think of the games in this course, Tim?
Well, I would say I had the most frustration, to be honest, with RuneScape. Um, but the other games, uh, I felt like I had success with. The whole thing was new to me, so I was pretty much a beginner as far as gaming coming in, and I found the experience very valuable. So,
All right, you, Michaela.
Well, with Dungeons and Dragons, I had a lot of fun because I've never played it before, but I was always interested. So it was very interesting to me how all the characters were interlocked and worked together as a team. RuneScape, on the other hand, I just couldn't stand that game because of the graphics. One, I have a problem with graphics, and the music. It was annoying, but I understood what the point was in the game, so I guess that was all right. And Spore, World of Warcraft, both of those were great. I really became creative with Spore. And World of Warcraft, I've never played it before, but I think I am starting to get addicted.
Oh, okay, Sylvia.
Well, Runscape was the one that gave me the most challenge, and that maybe because it was fun, but it just kind of seemed it was realism. The situations that I was in, like the violence and attacking and that sort of thing, that was kind of scary to me, and I'm overwhelmed by having to attack. Um, I liked the fact that it was realistic, and that made it not so boring. But it was still hard for me. It was challenging to maneuver around and move my character. So um, that's what I wanted to point out. It was fun and it was real, but it was still kind of difficult for me. But I'm still working on it and continue to work on it after this course.
Yes, I agree with all of you all's points. And with D&D, I had always been reserved about people that played it, and I kind of feel bad for saying that I had that opinion about it because I had heard so much negativity about it. But then when I was introduced to it and saw how it was played and saw how you can be sitting right here and a whole scenery is played out in front of you and you use your imagination to add to the effect. It was really fun. It was interesting, and it opened up a lot of ideas for me in what how we can use these things in our learning environments, especially in dealing with teamwork and I like the fact that it's a roll of the dice, so it's not something that's set in its ways. It's something that you you never know what's gonna happen next. Those are all great points. Thank y'all. Also, oh, you wanted to add something, Tim?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's what surprised me the most about the gaming was the teamwork aspect. I always thought of gaming as kind of a solitary, exercise,
Yep.
and never really thought of it as a team building or teamwork kind of exercise. That surprised me the most.
Yep. That was a big point in every game that we played this month. Um, how will you change your educational delivery to include gaming, Tim?
I definitely want to incorporate particularly immersive environment type of gaming in the work that I do with training data center technicians. And that's something that is going to be the focus of my thesis and hopefully maybe even a PhD. So I'm really interested in immersive environments for doing technical training.
Okay, Michaela.
Well, as a former music teacher, I actually did use games in the classroom, but they weren't multimedia based games because of budget budget cutbacks and stuff. I actually had games for the kids to play on the chalkboard or in their notebook. So I think I would take what I've learned from these games and find some multimedia based games dealing with music to enhance what they are already learning in class through the textbooks.
Yep, that sounds great. You sound like you were a fun teacher.
Yeah, that's what they told me.
Sylvia.
Well, I think I'm going to integrate gaming in my science class. I think that's going to make science more fun. And if you look at the games that we've played, it does kind of go along with the themes of science and to make it more of a learning environment to liven up your classroom and it also to motivate the student in the classroom. Um, I think one thing that I would definitely do before is to test the game before you run the entire program and that's one thing that I learned from going into these games that go in and test it and play it and be more comfortable with it before I bring it into the classroom.
Yep, that's a very good point. And with me, my target group is the youth of my church, and I think that role playing would be excellent for them because it gets everybody involved and it's fun when you role play. You get to live outside of yourself. So I think that role playing and incorporating stories of the Bible would be very good for my youth group at church. That's how I want to include and incorporate gaming.
And I agree, Kevin, because the role playing extras, the project that we did in class, I've already actually used it in my classroom for my first grade students, and they just loved it.
Oh, I
And I
know
think
they had fun. Some
they
first
had
graders.
fun. And the next time we'll play it again, I'm going to film it and start a maybe a YouTube broadcasting for my school. That those are my plans.
Oh, that sounds great. That sounds
Mhm.
great.
Did I did role playing when I was teaching too. I had the students pick a genre and a decade, and they had to dress up and pretend like they were in that decade. And we put on a fashion show with the music and the clothes and stuff. So I had people from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and the year 2000.
Wow.
They had a blast.
Wow,
Wow.
that's great.
That I'm gonna piggyback a little bit off of that with the role play game that I'm designing. Thank you for that, Michaela.